Hello, I'm Ricky Lee, and today on the watch list, I'm joined by George Flores, COO of Amplitech Group. The company has just outlined ambitious plans for accelerated growth, targeting 25 to 30% annual revenue increases through 2030, and recently announced a new unit rights offering to support that trajectory. It's a bold target, and investors are watching closely to see how the company plans to make it happen. George, welcome to the watch list.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Nice to be here.
We're so thrilled to have you. So tell us, George, you've set a goal of 25 to 30% annual revenue growth through 2030. What's driving that target and where do you see the biggest opportunities?
Well, certainly, though, like a very good question, though. We are setting our targets 25 to 30% growth at the very least, though, okay, just mainly based on our recent and publicly announced LOIs worth about $118 million with two different customers, right? So this is, although LOIs are non-binding, though, let me just inform the investor base that this happened as a result of months of meetings with our two customers. And in these LOIs, though, there are specific details that are basically pre-negotiated before we start getting purchase orders. So this is results of months of very, very long technical meetings in which predetermined rates, delivery rates, pricing, and terms are determined before we sign into the LOIs. So we are executing on a very visible pipeline, early repeat orders and capacity plans, right, to support tens of thousands of radios to be delivered over time during this period. So 25 to 30% is definitely not a moonshot. It's definitely very doable for us. And this happens when a company like us, which has readily available ORAN 5G ready network products, is ready to go. And we are a differentiated ORAN 5G supplier to the world.
Amazing. So, George, tell us now about this unit rights offering. What does that mean for investors right now?
Well, right now, I will be able to sum this up into three different words, right? Choice, fairness, and alignment. When it comes to choice, right, the rights offering lets every existing shareholder decide to participate or not participate, right? Either to increase their current ownership or keep, look at the same level of units that they have right now. So it's definitely, they are not going to be boxed out like in a private deal with somebody else. Everyone here has access. When I'm speaking about fairness, it's pro rata by design. If you participate, you can offset the dilution. If you don't, you are making a conscious portfolio decision, not suffering because we raise capital with another small group. And listen, the rights are transferable, right? Holders can also choose to sell their rights in the market. We do expect market makers are going to create a market for them to be traded. So again, it's not just fairness, but also flexibility. And last but not least is the alignment, because we pick this structure to strengthen the balance sheet without loading the company without expensive or toxic debt, right? It supports growth while respecting our value long-term shareholders. It also sends a very clear signal. We are raising funds to concrete opportunities, production, inventory turns, certifications, and go-to-market, not to plug holes.
Fantastic. So we love a power of three there. And how will the proceeds from this raise help fuel Amplitech's next phase of growth?
Absolutely. Very important to share this with our long-term investors and participants of this rights to offering, right? One of them is to scale production and working capital, right? We need to be able to fund inventory for committed and forecasted orders that we have with these two customers. We also need to have funds available to increase our certification and to have market access. We need to extend current certifications to be able to deploy into other parts of the globe as well. We also need to be able to participate with additional certifications, additional IP into field trials and interoperability testing. For example, though, we recently joined the ORAN Alliance to be able to participate in PlugFest. Blockfests are events in which, for example, the NVIDIA is trying to do interoperability testing with our massive MIMO radio, right? So we need to be able to support those type of Blockfests to be able to be qualified into more opportunities. So this translates into a product roadmap also, go-to-market expansion, to give the company strategic flexibility, to keep the balance sheet strong so we can pursue select tuck-ins, right, joint ventures, or any other capacity investments when they are clearly accretive to us.
Well, thank you so much for explaining all of that to us, George. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
So once again, that was George Flores, COO of Amplitech Corp. For more on the company's growth plans and their latest offering, visit amplitechgroup.com. That's all for this episode of The Watch List. I'm Ricky Lee. Make good choices today.